Alright, welcome into Brendog Sports, and what a great time it is to be a Texas Longhorn fan. The regular season is finally over, and we still have all of our goals out in front of us. With all that being said, in this video, I will be previewing our Big 12 championship game, and also looking at a couple college football playoff scenarios, and talking about what they mean for the Longhorns' chances to play for a national championship. Alright, first off, like I said in the intro, I'm going to be previewing the Big 12 championship game tomorrow and going over 3 keys for the Longhorns to beat Oklahoma State. Key number 1 is stopping Ollie Gordon in the OSU run game. Ollie Gordon is arguably the best running back in college football, so this will be no easy task, especially since he has the hot hand right now, coming off of back-to-back games with 150 plus rushing yards. However, this is one of the reasons I think this matchup suits us, because everywhere they are good, we are arguably even better. T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy are easily the best interior defensive line duo in the country, and if we want to have any chance of stopping Ollie Gordon, they are going to have to come up big, especially on 4th down, to force Oklahoma State into obvious passing situations on 2nd and 3rd down, where I feel we will be able to take advantage of a mediocre quarterback in Alan Bowman. Key number 2 for the Longhorns in this game is getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down. This hasn't been an issue for this Texas Longhorns defense at all like it was last year, but Oklahoma State is a team that likes to control the clock and slowly wear you down with this rushing attack led by Ollie Gordon. So obviously, they're going to get into 3rd down situations, and we can't afford to let them extend drives and keep our offense off the field. The key to this will be in the secondary, where we will finally have a healthy Ryan Watts, according to Steve Sarkisian. Like I stated earlier, Alan Bowman is not a great QB, but this secondary has made bad QBs look great all year, and that can't happen tomorrow, or we will have to rely on this offense to keep up with Oklahoma State, which is not what we want. Key number 3 for the Longhorns of this game is to not turn the ball over. I'm expecting a pretty close game tomorrow, at least for the first half. So if that's the case, we can't afford to give Oklahoma State extra possessions. I think Sark and Quinn both know that if they can put up 27 to 30 points, they will win this game. So I'm not saying I want conservative play calling, but I do expect Sark to tell Quinn to be a little more cautious when throwing the football tomorrow. If we can do that, we will be in a great place to win this game. Alright, now I'm going to give my final prediction for this game. As I already said, I expect this game to be close for at least the first half, where I expect OSU to come out very prepared and hyped up for this game, since they are led by a very experienced head coach in Mike Gundy. However, I don't see Oklahoma State being able to run the ball that well. Yes, Ollie Gordon may break 1 or 2 runs, but this interior defensive line, led by T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy, in what could possibly be their last games as Longhorns, will end up being too much to handle for a smaller offensive line that Oklahoma State has. I also expect a good game from our offense, particularly Jordan Whittington, who has been waiting for this moment since he got here 5 years ago. So with all that being said, I have the Longhorns winning a somewhat low-scoring game, 27-14. To cap off our Big 12 tenure the same way we started it, as Big 12 champions. Now for the final segment of this video, I'm going to be going over a couple playoff scenarios. The first one is best case scenario for the Longhorns, which is we win against Oklahoma State, Florida State loses to Louisville, and Georgia beats Alabama. It would also make me feel a little more secure if Washington took care of business tonight against Oregon. In this case, the top 4 should be, or my top 4 would be, Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and then we would come in at that 4th spot and face Georgia in the first round of the playoffs. Okay, the second scenario I will be going over is one that gives Texas absolutely no chance of making the playoffs, whether we win or lose. That would be Florida State beats Louisville, Georgia beats Alabama, Michigan wins, and Washington beats Oregon. Basically, all the undefeated teams win their conference championship. In this case, I know for sure we would be left out. But if I was voting and this happened, my top 4 would be Michigan, Georgia, Oregon, and Washington over Florida State due to their situation at QB. Now the last case scenario is the nightmare scenario for the committee, and that would be if Alabama beats Georgia. We don't even have to go any further. If Alabama beats Georgia, chaos breaks loose, because now the committee has to decide whether they leave the SEC out completely or put Alabama in. But if you put Alabama in, you also have to put Texas in because they beat Alabama, the SEC champs, in Tuscaloosa. Thankfully, though, I'm not a voter. But as a Longhorn fan, this would not be the best case scenario, so just hope it doesn't happen and Georgia takes care of business against Alabama. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you next time on Brendog Sports. Hook 'em.